Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a call, so it got disconnected. So let me continue. This is friction number 6. Continue. Friction number 6. Continue. Right. So what I was explaining is length of the inclined plane is L. This is smooth inclined plane. That means we are considering frictionless surface. Even though friction exists everywhere, but here we are considering an ideal case where friction is equal to 0. Fine. A block of mass m is placed on a smooth inclined plane. Fine. Now as you know that its weight always acts vertically downwards, mg, and this mg is resolved into two rectangular components. One is parallel to the surface, inclined plane, parallel to the inclined plane. I will take this inclined plane as x-axis. And the other component is perpendicular to the plane. So one component of weight is acting along the inclined plane. Other component of weight is acting perpendicular to the plane. Right? And these two components are always perpendicular to each other. And we have discussed so many times, whenever mg is weight, if it is resolved into two components, the component of weight touching the angle, if this angle is taken as theta, this angle becomes theta, because I have explained many times. When this angle is theta, the component of weight touching the angle gives cos, and the other component will be sine. So mg cos theta, and the other component is mg sine theta. Right? Now here, as there is no vertical motion, that is, as there is no motion along y-axis, this I have considered as y-axis, because inclined plane I have considered as x-axis, and the perpendicular direction I need to take as y-axis. So as there is no motion along y-axis, net force, this is normal force. This is normal force. So net force along y-axis or perpendicular to the plane is 0. Net force perpendicular to the plane is 0. Whereas, as I am discussing smooth inclined plane, there is no friction. There should not be any friction, is it not? Here, no force at all. That means, let me write frictional force is 0. I will put frictional force as 0 because I am considering the case where I am dealing with smooth inclined planes. In case of smooth inclined plane, just now I said frictional force must be equal to 0, is it not? So here there is only one force acting along the inclined plane downwards. One force acting downwards along the inclined plane, that is mg sine theta. Due to this only component mg sine theta, the block has to slide down the inclined plane. So what is the net force? Along the inclined plane, net force is nothing but mg sine theta itself, because this is the only force acting downwards along the inclined plane. There is no motion along y-axis. There is a motion only along x-axis. So let me write like this. So along x-axis, if I write along x-axis, what is the net force? Along x-axis, net force is equal to mg sine theta. This is the only force acting along x-axis, because I have taken inclined plane as x-axis. Okay. Now F net is nothing but ma. So I can write, which implies ma is equal to mg sine theta, because here a I am considering as net acceleration. This is net acceleration, not simply acceleration. This is net acceleration because I am considering net force. So m gets cancelled. I am getting the formula for acceleration as A is equal to G sine theta when the block slides down the smooth inclined plane. When the block slides down the smooth inclined plane, this is the formula. Remember, very, very important formula. As there is no friction at all, I did not take any Fk. So Fk is equal to 0. I mean, whatever, even static friction doesn't exist there. So even frictional force is 0. So A is equal to G sine theta. Fine, very important. Now along y-axis, what I can write? Along y-axis, there is no motion at all for the block. So along y-axis, net force must be equal to 0. N must be balanced by mg cos theta. Right? Of course, so along y-axis, let me write. Along y-axis, I can write N is equal to mg cos theta. N is equal to mg cos theta. Remember this. Yeah. Along x-axis, I can write as parallel to the plane. Parallel to the smooth inclined plane. Along y-axis, I will take as perpendicular to the smooth inclined plane. Along x-axis, I will take as parallel to the smooth inclined plane. Along y-axis, I will consider this as perpendicular to the smooth inclined plane. Fine, very important. Now, if at all block is on the verge of the inclined plane, at the edge of the inclined plane, at the highest point, and if at all if it slides down the inclined plane, what is the total distance covered by the inclined plane? L. So, what is the distance traveled by the block if at all if it falls, if it slides down from the top of the smooth inclined plane? Let us discuss. Now the heading is now let me, so this is the case. I want distance traveled by the block sliding down smooth inclined plane. Now let me write the side heading. I'll write like this: distance traveled by the block sliding down a smooth inclined plane. Distance traveled by the block sliding down a smooth inclined plane. So what is the distance covered, which is nothing but length of the inclined plane? L. That means S is equal to L. So S is equal to L and block is initially at rest. So U is equal to 0. So U is equal to 0. In which equation we have, anyways, it has got acceleration. When it is sliding down, we got the acceleration as A is equal to G sine theta in case of a smooth inclined plane. Remember this, very, very important point. Right? So in which equation we have length, velocity, or anyways, acceleration we know, this is net acceleration, but I want length. So distance I want, and also what I want is like time, in what time it will slide down the plane, smooth inclined plane, and what is the distance covered by the block to slide down the smooth inclined plane. All these that I want. So what I will do is, I have taken this height of the inclined plane as h. I have taken this height of the inclined plane as h, and here if you look at this again, mg always acts vertically downwards. This mg is resolved into two components. One is perpendicular to the plane, mg cos theta, perpendicular to the plane, and the other one is parallel to the plane, mg sine theta. This is the only component which makes the block to slide down the plane. This is the only component of force or weight which makes the block to slide down the plane. So this gives us acceleration for the block. Whereas along y-axis, because always remember, I'll consider the length of the inclined plane as x-axis, and perpendicular to the plane, inclined plane, I will consider as y-axis. So here mg cos theta is balanced by normal force along y-axis. Mg sin theta is the only component of weight which acts downwards, right, slantingly downwards. Now from this, what is the value of sin theta from this triangle? Okay, let me take the triangle as A, B, C. Now from right triangle A, B, C, what is the value of sin theta? Sin theta is equal to opposite side is h upon hypotenuse is AC, which is nothing but length of the inclined plane, L. Sin theta is equal to h by L. From this, if I know the value of height of the inclined plane, then I can find out the length of the inclined plane from this formula. So L is equal to h upon sin theta. H upon sin theta. Right? Remember this. If I have given you the values of angle of inclination of the plane, smooth inclined plane, and also height of the inclined plane, and if I ask you to find out the distance traveled by the block along the smooth inclined plane, you can use this formula. L is equal to h upon sin theta, or h by sin theta. Fine? Fine. Let me erase. Fine. Now let me go to time of descent. In what time this block will slide down the smooth inclined plane? Time of descent. Time of descent, TD. We have discussed TD in case of projectile, if you remember. సో టైమ్ ఆఫ్ డిసెంట్ అంటే ఏంటి? టైమ్ ఆఫ్ డిసెంట్ అంటే ఎంత టైంలో ఈ బ్లాక్ కిందికి వస్తుంది. ఇట్ ఈస్ రీచింగ్ ది బాటమ్ ఆఫ్ ది స్మూత్ ఇంక్లైన్ ప్లేన్ ఫ్రమ్ ది టాప్ ఆఫ్ ది స్మూత్ ఇంక్లైన్ ప్లేన్. హౌ మచ్ టైమ్, హౌ లాంగ్ ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ ఫర్ దిస్ బ్లాక్ టు స్లైడ్ డౌన్ ది స్మూత్ ఇంక్లైన్డ్ ప్లేన్ టు రీచ్ ది బాటమ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇంక్లైన్డ్ ప్లేన్ ఫ్రమ్ టాప్. Right? I want time. So initial velocity u is equal to 0. Right? What is the distance covered? S is equal to L. I want t. Okay, anyways, what is the formula for acceleration you got? A is equal to g sin theta, and t is equal to td is equal to how much? So if you look at these values, variables, you will you can analyze, you can tell me which formula is the best suitable to find out a time using these variables or these parameters: length, distance, initial velocity, acceleration, time. So we know we are very much acquainted with the equation S is equal to ut plus half at square. Use this equation. So using S is equal to ut plus half at square, I will put all these values. Then what I will get? In place of S I can write L. L is equal to u is 0, so 0 into t is 0, 0 plus half into what is the value of net acceleration? G sin theta into, in place of t I will write td, so td square. Right? From this, what I will get? So L is equal to, or let me write like this: 0 plus half g sin theta dd square is nothing but half g sin theta dd square. So when you take this 2 towards left side, so 2L is equal to G sine theta into TD square. From this, TD square is equal to 2L by G sine theta. Fine. Now let me write the formula for time of descent. In what time does this block will reach the smooth inclined plane? Bottom of the footing, smooth inclined plane. So time of descent, what I am getting is root over 2L by G sine theta. Remember this important point. Time of descent is equal to square root of 2L by G sine theta. 2L by G sine theta. This is the formula that you need to write in terms of length of the inclined plane. Length of the inclined plane. Okay, this is in terms of length of the inclined plane. I can write like this. This formula, whatever I got for TD, let me write here. Let me put it in brackets. And box TD is equal to what I got is root over 2L by G sine theta. Use this formula used when length L is given. I hope it is clear. Or used when L is given in the data, in the numericals. In the numericals, if L is given, use this formula. Otherwise, we have one formula. We have the relation between L and H. L ki H ko relation undi. What is that relation we got just now? What is the formula for L we got? L is equal to H upon sine theta. L is equal to H upon sine theta. Right? If I ask you the problems numericals in terms of height H, then but L is equal to H by sine theta. Just now we have discussed about this formula. Right? Now let me put the value of L is equal to H by sine theta here. Therefore, I will get the formula for time of descent in terms of height H. So what you will get is 2H by G sine theta upon G sine theta. Now when this come to denominator, so time of descent is equal to square root of 2H by G into G is G square sine square theta. So finally, time of descent what I am getting is under root 2H by G square sine square theta. You can take this one as outside. I think, sorry, this is sine theta. So here you get G only. H by sine theta. This is H by sine theta. Because L is equal to H by sine theta. So TD is equal to, now what is the value of 1 by sine square theta under root sine theta? So what I am getting is 1 by sine theta into root over 2H by G. Now this is the formula you have to use when height is given in the problems. This is in terms of height H. This is in terms of length L. This is in terms of length L to obtain the value of time of descent. This is the value, this is the formula that you have to use in terms of height H to obtain the value of time of descent. Fine. So remember these two formulas. This formula is also important in terms of height H. Fine. So use this when height H is given. Use this formula when height H is given in the numericals. Depending upon the situation, you should be able to write the formula. Right? Fine. Now I want another one. With what velocity for this block when it reaches the bottom of the smooth inclined plane? That is, what is the velocity that it acquires when it reaches the bottom of the smooth inclined plane from the top? Anyways, at the top, initial velocity is 0. Now I want the final velocity of the body or block when it reaches point A. Point A is at the bottom of the inclined plane. So let me write the side heading. Fine. So this is velocity of a block sliding down a smooth inclined plane. SIP stands for smooth inclined plane, on reaching its bottom. On reaching its bottom. Here at point A, what should be the velocity of the block when it reaches the bottom of the smooth inclined plane? So in which equation we have final velocity, initial velocity? Initial velocity and final velocity, and also distance. V square minus U square is equal to 2as. Now let me use that equation. So here U is equal to 0. Distance traveled is L. Right? V we have to find out at the bottom of the smooth inclined plane. Right? A is equal to G sin theta in case of smooth inclined plane. Right? So using V square minus U square is equal to 2as, I can write V square minus 0 is equal to 2 into A is what? G sin theta into displacement is L. So from this I will get V square is equal to 2GL sin theta. From this V is equal to square root of 2GL sin theta. Again, this is the formula for velocity acquired by the block sliding down the smooth inclined plane at the bottom in terms of length. This is the formula in terms of length used in terms of length. When length is given, use this formula. But if I have given you height h instead of length l, what is the relation we got between L and h? L is equal to h upon sin theta. Now I will put L is equal to h upon sin theta here, and I will show you. This is one important formula to be remembered for velocity in terms of length L. Right? Now I will put, but what is value of L? But L is equal to h upon sin theta, right? Therefore, V is equal to square root of 2G. L means what? H by sin theta into sin theta is there. Into sin theta. So that sin theta gets cancelled. So finally what I am getting is V is equal to square root of 2GH. Now from this what I can conclude is you have come across this formula long back in motion in a straight line. Whenever a body falls from a height h freely, the velocity acquired by a freely falling body is root of 2gh. The same formula now I am getting when a block is sliding down a smooth inclined plane. The velocity of the body on reaching the bottom of the smooth inclined plane is root of 2gh. That is, it is independent of angle of inclination. In this, do I have any theta? No, I don't have any angle. So I can say that velocity acquired by by a block sliding down a smooth inclined plane is independent of angle of inclination. independent of angle of inclination. Remember this. Fine. Right. This is in terms of h. Anyways, this is used in terms of h. Used in terms of h. Right. Fine. Now let me discuss. If the body goes up the inclined plane, let us discuss. Fine. So this is the case that what we are going to discuss is a body or block moving up the smooth inclined plane. Anyways, this is a frictionless surface. So when can you expect the block moves upwards? When I give some force, right? So anyways, it is, let's say it is moving with a velocity u in the upward direction. It should have some velocity, is it not? Let me consider A, B, C as the inclined plane points. AC is inclined plane. Now when it reaches point C, it got stopped. Let's say it got stopped. So final velocity is 0. Final velocity is 0. Now initially, as you know, this weight of the block always acts vertically downwards. So weight of the block always acts vertically downwards, mg. So mg is resolved into two rectangular components, is it not? Mg is resolved into two rectangular components. So one is parallel to the plane or along x-axis, and the other one is perpendicular to the plane or along y-axis. Parallel to the plane I will take as x-axis, perpendicular to the plane I will take as y-axis. So if this is, okay, let me write here. If this angle is theta, this angle is also equal to theta. The component of weight touching the angle is nothing but mg cos theta. The component of weight not touching the angle is nothing but mg sin theta. Right? Now again, I am considering the length of the inclined plane as m. I did not change length of the inclined plane. Length of the inclined plane. In the previous case, what I have taken? The same inclined plane I have taken. So its length is again l. Fine. Now in this case, what happens when it is moving upwards? When it is moving upwards, because of mg sin theta, it has to come down. So now this time the block will decelerate. The block will decelerate. So what I can write is, in the previous case, what is the formula I have written for acceleration? In the previous case, in case of smooth inclined plane, A is equal to g sin theta when it is sliding down. But now this time this block is moving upwards, which is against to the force mg sin theta, component of weight mg sin theta. So therefore it retards, body will start retarding. So I can say that acceleration should be negative. In this case here, this is in the previous case. This is in the previous case. Now here acceleration is equal to minus g sin theta I can write. Why? Because block is moving upwards. Mg sin theta is the only force component of weight which is acting parallel to the inclined plane in the opposite direction to the applied force, so it will retard. So retardation is minus g sin theta. Acceleration is minus g sin theta. Therefore, I can write its retardation as. Therefore, retardation or deceleration is equal to negative of acceleration. But what is the value of acceleration? Minus g sin theta. So what I will get? Minus of minus g sin theta, which comes out to be g sin theta. So therefore I can write retardation or deceleration formula is simply g sine theta. Fine? Yeah, fine. Now let me discuss what is the distance traveled by the block when it is moving up the smooth incline. Let me put the side heading. Time of ascent. Right? So let me discuss this time of ascent. In what time it reaches the top of the inclined plane. Fine. So which equation is best suitable? I should know the length. I have initial velocity. I have final velocity. And in which equation we have time. So which equation is best suitable? So here, let me write like this. Here, u is equal to u, v is equal to 0, a is equal to minus g sine theta, because it is retarding, is it not? Minus g sine theta. So I want a time of ascent. But s is equal to what? L. S is equal to L. Anyways, v is not required. But what is that best suitable? Time, of course I can use two equations. I can also use v is equal to u plus at. I can use both. S is equal to ut plus half at square. I can also use v is equal to u plus at. But simple equation is v is equal to u plus at. Let us try from that. Using v is equal to u plus at. And here what is required? T is equal to time of ascent. Time of ascent I want. So V value is how much? 0. So let me put 0 is equal to U is U only plus A is minus G sine theta into TA. Into TA. Is it? So what I will get from this, if I bring towards left side, G sine theta into TA is equal to U implies TA is equal to U by G sine theta. This is in terms of initial velocity U. In terms of initial velocity U. Remember this. Right? Note it down. Note it down. Fine. So I want to express the formula for time of ascent in terms of length L. I want to express the formula for time of ascent in terms of length L. Here I don't have length L. So again, what is the formula just now we got? If you recall, just now I got the formula for length L is equal to, we know that L is equal to U square by, what is the formula you got? U square by 2G sine theta. This is the formula we got just now in this video only. Right? Go through, just go back. You will find this formula. L is equal to U square by 2G sine theta. Now from this, what is the value of U square? U square is equal to 2GL sine theta. Now what is the value of U? U is equal to root over 2GL sine theta. I'm sorry. So let me, I think this is visible. Power went off. Let me try to complete this. So therefore, time of ascent, I will put the value of U here. I will put the value of U here so that TA is equal to root over 2g L sin theta upon g sin theta, right? So this I have written like this. So from this, if you express here in root g is there in numerator, g is there in denominator. I can cancel root g by g and I can write as 1 by root g, and I can cancel root sin theta, and denominator you have sin theta, I can cancel as 1 by root sin theta. So finally what I will get is root 2 L is there by I can write this one as root g sin theta. G sin theta. Is it not? Now this is in the form of root a by root b. I can write as root of a by b. So therefore, time of ascent is equal to root over, if I write this entire term in one single root, 2L by g sin theta. And this is the formula we got for time of descent as well. Just go through. Time of descent also we got the same formula. So this is nothing but time of descent. So I can say that in case of a smooth inclined plane, time of ascent, whatever the time that is coming down this smooth inclined plane, it will take the same time to reach the top of the inclined plane in case of smooth inclined plane. Fine. So this is about the smooth inclined plane. Fine. So let me discuss rough inclined plane in the next session. That would be good because power is not there. Once I'll take today itself. If I find time, I'll make another video. Right. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.